Hi, everybody.
Friends.
Welcome. Welcome to Tuesday Night Knit Chat at the Knit Chat Cafe here in Southwestern Ontario. Well, actually, it encompasses the world.
It does.
We're here from everybody. There's lots of people here tonight. We saw Australia, New Zealand, Maui.
Patricia's here from Maui checking out. Jean is here from Georgia, and it's cold and rainy there too.
Yep, and lots of places in the States, lots of places in Canada. Yeah, it's so nice that everybody's here to join us tonight. We had kind of a rainy day here today. I noticed someone from Sudbury said they had snowy Sudbury, and I would so much rather have snow than rain.
I know. I was looking at the Sudbury weather because my son Damon is working in Sudbury for several months, and it's cold and rainy here, but yeah, it's definitely snowy there.
Okay. So anyway, before we go further, my name's Noelle.
And I'm Kelly.
You're Kelly. And we're coming to you from Southwestern Ontario, Canada. And like I said, not such a great day today, but yeah, we always get, I honestly hope we don't have as gray a winter here as we did last year. It was just gray and drizzly, and I'd much rather see some fresh white snow, especially if I don't have to shovel it.
Okay, I would much rather not see snow at all, ever, if I'm being honest.
Well, I don't. I like snow. I'm jealous of the places with snow.
I'm guessing you don't have to shovel it if you're like it.
Shovel it.
Yeah, you don't.
And being retired, I don't have to go anywhere if it snows. So I didn't like it so much when I had to shovel it to get to work. But
yeah.
But anyways, welcome everybody. We are so glad you're here. If it's your first time, welcome, and thank you so much to all of our viewers that return week after week to join us for this little weekly get together. I know we look forward to it, and
we do.
I don't know, this week has been crazy.
Fast.
This week has been crazy. I have to apologize. I didn't get to a lot of comments or even the emails I just got to tonight to see if there were any questions. I will get back to them, but I was away, and then we had a shower for my son and daughter-in-law for the new baby that's coming in January. So yeah, so I swear, I feel like I have not been home since I went away to the East Coast at the beginning of September.
I know. I didn't go with you, but I feel that way too. And here we are gearing up for another little outing, and then I've got yarn hanging off of me.
Well, I'm going away again. I'm going away again tomorrow.
Yes.
So
yeah, you were away last weekend.
Haven't even thought about what I'm going to pack. I was away last weekend. Before that, it was Rhinebeck. Before that, it was Woolstock. Before that, it was the East Coast. And
yes,
I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'm looking forward to eventually just a little bit of time at home.
I know, but
anyway, and you're right, Julia. Family trumps everything. So the baby shower was amazing. Zoe and Molly and Isla were there, and they had a good time. And I just have to tell you, Molly is just so funny. We went to my son's house after, and my daughter-in-law didn't get there until after, like from the shower, like Molly and Isla were already there. So she comes in the door, and Molly goes, "Oh, hi, Aunt Jen. And I see you brought the baby with you." And then she looked at me and she goes, "Grandma, your husband is here."
Oh my goodness. They're so cute. They are just adorable. Adorable.
I just love spending time with them, and it never ceases to amaze me, some of the things that they come up with. But anyway, they had a very good time at the shower. Zoe couldn't understand why boys couldn't go, but
well, I think all the rules are off. I've seen lots of sort of couple showers now too for the baby.
Yep.
But anyway.
That's right, Julia. It was a very carefully packaged baby.
Very carefully. Yes, very carefully. Anyway. So we should say that we are a mostly knitting podcast, but we do lots of other things too. You weave, I sew.
I do weave.
We both
spinning.
crochet, but not very much. You do some spinning. I made candles this week. I've only had the wax for almost 2 years, and I don't know what I was waiting for, but it was so much fun. And now I'm ready to make more. But
I still have some from last year, so I have to go through and see what I've got and see whether I need to make any more or not. So we'll see. But that's a nice thing about them. Once you make them, it doesn't matter if you don't use them right away.
That's right.
Like they will keep.
They don't spoil. They don't spoil.
I keep all my jars. Like I've actually got, Jacqueline buys quite a lot of candles, and she buys a lot of the ones in really nice jars. So she gives me all her empty jars. So that's, that is an added cost if you have to go out and buy all the jars for them. Nice to keep your jars, and and it's fun to try out all the different scents, and your house smells amazing.
It does. That's like a side benefit for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So what I was starting to say before I got sidetracked with the candle making, if you're new here and you haven't joined in before, feel free to, if you're near a keyboard and you have any questions or you want to chat, there is a chat. If you're on like if you're watching on TV, you won't see the chat. But if you have a mobile device, lots of people watch it on TV as well as on a mobile device. And then that way you can join in the chat. And it's a very friendly group in here, so don't be shy. I know that, the group gets bigger every week. So I know that we have lots of new people, and I'm seeing lots of new names in the chat. And if you do have something that you want to ask, I can almost guarantee that there's somebody in here, and not necessarily Noelle and I, but somebody in here will know the answer. It's a really helpful group. So I encourage you to join in. And this is really our virtual knit night. This is just like hanging out at a coffee shop, and the added benefit is not having to go out into the inclement weather today.
That's right.
Just hang out in the coffee shop with some friends. Hope you've got some knitting near you. We don't get to knit during this time because we stay pretty busy, but I hope that you get to do some things. And then we'll answer any questions that you have. Elizabeth just asked if I still make project bags. Elizabeth, I wish I did. Clearly I still have oodles of fabric. It's something I plan to get back into. It's just been, it's been a heck of a year and a half for me, but I do plan to get back into it. I've been inspired lately. I was actually at the fabric store yesterday. Of course, that doesn't mean that anything is going to come of it, but
that's kind of like come on, Kelly. That's kind of like going to a yarn store.
I know, but it's good intentions, right? It's good intentions. So, so I hope to, and if not for selling, maybe, who knows? I don't know what volume I can keep up with, but I do have a new knitter in the family. My daughter is knitting, and she has dropped a couple of not so subtle hints that she needs a few project bags. So I've got to get going, and I will be, I'll keep you all posted for sure. You would know first if anything is going back into the shop. You will know it here first. Absolutely. So, okay.
So we usually start off with if there was any questions. So we actually have a carryover question from last week, and Kelly was going to Little Red Mittens, so she talked to Jolynn about it. So that was about over dyeing a project once you're done with it.
Yeah. So somebody had asked if you can over dye, and I had a bit of a chat with Jolynn, and what she came up with. Well, she had some questions first. One of the things that I had a question for her, because we're very not knowledgeable about this. So if anybody else is in here that can chime in, this will be helpful too. But she was I wondered, does it matter in the nature in how the fiber was dyed? If I'm thinking about paint, you can't paint a water base over a lead base. So I was just wondering about that. And she said, it doesn't really matter, but the fiber matters. And also, we were right when we said that you can only go from a lighter color to a darker color. You can't, because the dye saturates the fiber, so you can't pull that dye back out. You can only add dye to it. And so also what she said to be very mindful of is, for instance, if you already have a yarn that's dyed a specific color and you're trying to get to a different color, you have to not think in your mind all of a sudden, okay, I have this yellow yarn and I want to turn it into blue, so I'm going to dye it blue. what you have to think about is it's already yellow. What do we add to yellow to achieve blue? You would add green, and then that's sort of the process you go in. You have to account for the dye that is already in the fiber. And I think specifically the question that was asked of us, she had a 4-ply natural fiber yarn that was a light color. And I think she was wanting to go to a darker color. It's probably highly achievable. If you have any, it was suggested, if you have any of the leftover yarn, what you should try to do is swatch that up first and give that a little sample and see what you think it's going to turn out like before you, throw a finished sweater in that you weren't happy with the color. So
yeah, and I think it's good to note that she said that when you look at that, the yarn has a specific point of how much dye it can take.
Yes.
So if you're looking at something and you're going to dye something because it was blotchy or whatever, that may not even it out, right? Because some of the fabric already has some of the original color dye more than other spots. So you still may not come out with a whole totally uniform,
and she also said
cohesive look.
Right. And that's what she mentioned with the dye saturation. If you have a yarn that is already highly saturated, that fiber may be at its peak. It may not be able to handle any more dye. So you might not get anything out of it. It may not pick up any additional color because it's already fully saturated. So,
but I guess you have to look at too, if it's a project or if it's something that you're not going to be able to do anything with or aren't going to use at all. If you don't try it, then I guess there's no harm in trying it.
That's right.
Be aware that there's no guarantees on how things are going to turn out because there are, like we said, all those different factors that you have to take into consideration when you're dyeing it. So, but okay. So a couple that I had was, first of all, I just had a comment and I haven't tried it yet. I just actually read it today. And when we were talking last week about color work and the two hands, so one viewer said that she actually watched the tutorial. The tutorial was on modern daily knitting about knitting backwards for wrong side color work. So if you're doing color work in the flat, so you knit across. So instead of turning and coming back, you actually you're actually knitting backwards.
You're knitting backwards on the same on the right side.
And you're still looking at the right side of the work, so you can still see where the colors are supposed to go. So she did highlight a website for that. I am going to try it out. I do want to try it out, and I will put the website into the show notes. But it was by Modern Daily Knitting, and I'm going to do something little just to give it a try. So
okay, that sounds like fun.
Out. Yeah, it sounded interesting. So. And then the next question was, and I'm just going to show a picture of the pattern that a viewer is making. So it is this pullover, and this is the Circe. Let me just find the. Of course, I can't find it when I'm looking for it. Okay, so it's Circe by Marie Emily Designs. Now, it's going to be knit with hand-dyed yarn. So the question was about alternating skeins, and should she wait till she's so far down, or I think in this design, because that yoke is stocking stitch, you need to be alternating right from the beginning. Otherwise, you run the risk of getting a definite line when you're joining in a new ball. But because you've got the lace where your shoulders are, like that looks like raglan there, you can easily switch your colors at that point, because when you've already got a difference in the structure of the yarn, whether it be in lace or be in texture, it's a perfect place to kind of switch yarns. Because the reason that's hard to do on a stocking stitch is because the stitches are so smooth, you can really see where you've changed over that yarn. So what's going to happen here is you're not going to be helical knitting, because you're not going to be bringing it round and round. But what you're going to do is you're going to alternate it based on where the beginning of that lace is. And if you can see in this design too, that pattern carries down into the body of the sweater. So you can continue that down into the body of the sweater. Like if you've got a lace yoke, you can do it up in the yoke. And then if the sweater goes down to just plain stockinette, you could switch to helical. But in this case, because that design's still there, the best place to switch those colors is right at is where that lace changes. So you don't ever have to worry about switching colors in the middle of the lace pattern.
Right.
So,
and I'm exactly doing that on a project that I'm working on right now. And I will show you that later too. So that was a question about that.
Next question was about measuring sweater length. Okay, so a viewer is doing a sweater for someone that is not with her, but she knows the finished length that they want. But the pattern that she is doing has like 3 inches of rib at the bottom and a 3-inch neck. So where do you measure from? Like, I think you have to look at where did the person measure from that the length of the sweater they wanted. Most times I would say from, I'm going to pull one hair back and show you the wrong place, but I'm thinking from the shoulder.
Yes.
Down, right? So it's the back of the neck. So if you've got a rib that comes up like this turtleneck, you're not going to measure that, but you would want to measure from your shoulder to where they want the sweater to lie. But you want to make sure that the measurement they have given you is that measurement.
Yes. Yes.
So I would check with them and get them to measure from their shoulder down to where they want it to fall. And then that's where you would measure your sweater from to get the length. I don't know if anybody else has any other comments on that, or like a lot of times when you look at a sweater, it does give it to you from the shoulder, as opposed to, because neckbands, you can have 1 inch, you can have 2 inches, you can have 3 inches, but but that's all going up in this area. It's not coming down into to the yoke of the sweater. So,
well, that's a good comment. I know when I was making that little sweater for Miles, I called out to Kendall and I said, can you get me a measurement of where I need to stop this sweater for the hip? And she goes, well, where do you want me to measure? So at first I said, you know what, measure from his armpit, like down to his hip. And she came back with a measurement that seemed really long. And I said, when you held that tape, did you put that right up into his armpit? And she said, yeah. Well, it was a very bulky sweater meant to be worn as a coat. Well, he's not going to have that sweater tucked up into his armpit, right? It's probably going to hang 1 inch to 1.5 inches below his armpit. So I said, no, try this different measurement. And we went, from shoulder down to hip.
Well, it is. And even when you look at some of these, like where this armhole is different depending on the type of a garment, because you can get a lot of them where it's actually down here and you've got quite a bit of room
absolutely.
in here.
Or
so
like if it's
from there
if
to
it's a
there,
drop shoulder, that's going to be a very different measurement. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that you can get a measurement here depending on how long you want it. And I do find mine doesn't vary that much, but that's because I like this distance the same. Right. So then obviously this distance is going to be similar as well. So,
yeah.
But anyway, so I hope that helped.
And if all else fails, the other thing that you can do is have them take a sweater that they very much like the length of. And if they measure that, lay the sweater out flat and they measure that from like the shoulder, the side of the neckband, right? And they measure that all the way down to the length, that should get you fairly close too.
Yep.
Because I mean, if you're if you're trying to measure for a person maybe that doesn't have another person in their house to help them measure, that could be tricky to do.
Well, and the thing is, even with a neckband too, even have like, depending on if it's a woman's sweater, you could have like a fairly deep neckband that actually goes down lower. Same with at the back. Well, then you definitely want the measurement from here. You don't want it from here, or you're going to end up making it too long. So, again, it depends on the type of sweater you're making. And the type of kind of neckband that it has, but I think that the safest bet is probably shoulder. So, okay, that was all I had as far as questions. Did you have any other questions?
I didn't have any other questions, but I want to pop this comment in. Christine, I'll just pop it on the screen. She says that Taylor of Wool Needles Hands is a dyer who did at least one episode on over dyeing a couple of weeks ago. And I did actually just watch one of Taylor's episodes, not that one. I wish I had of. I don't watch her, like every episode, but I do check in with her fairly regularly, but I must have missed that episode. So if anybody else is looking, the podcast name is Wool Needles Hands.
Okay. So we did have, last week, we had given away one of Natalie's patterns for her Advent 2023 socks. So that was this sock right here. And we had another copy to give away today based on comments in the podcast, underneath the podcast from last week. So we did that and we've drawn a name. So I'll bring up the winner. Okay, so the winner is Elizabeth Cottam, and she said, "Love the pants and slippers, Noelle. They were adorable, and my daughter-in-law really liked them, so I was happy with that." Christmas knitting. She's doing the hedgerow fingerless mitts, which we have shown, which Kelly and I have both done. And she said, "Thank you for introducing me to the pattern. It is a great pattern, and it's fun.
I love that
It's got a little
pattern.
bit of color work in it, and it makes really nice fitting mitts." But congratulations, Elizabeth. You have won Natalie's 2023 Advent sock pattern, and you can contact us. Kelly, I'll put up the address there. I'll take this down at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com, and we will get you the code to get that pattern. And thanks, Natalie, for giving us access to the pattern. I know I've got one of mine done in December 1st. I'm going to start day 1 to day 12, so that by the middle of December, I'm going to have them done.
Okay. So. And I will be, a few people have mentioned that they like the idea of the way I did it, where I did sort of a stripe a month on both socks. And I'm going to do that again next year. So if there are any of you out there that feel you can't keep up in December the way I know I can't.
Yeah.
If you'd like to join me in January, then I will be starting another pair of Advent socks. And she has, how many Advent socks does she have now?
I think she said 2018 and 2019 were free. So there are free patterns on, if you go into Ravelry and Remembrances Pottery, she does have, or maybe she just says Natalie Sheldon. I think she's just Natalie Sheldon on Ravelry.
I think so, yes.
So, and then you've got the ones that you're doing, the ones I'm doing, and I think there was other years as well.
I think so. I think there's maybe about 6 patterns that she has now, and then maybe plus this one. So,
yep.
If you,
and really, when you do break it down into just like, I mean, I've got one done, so I've only got 12 days left to do. But when you break it down into like one day's just the cuff, and then the next day's just that first little section, and then the next little section, it makes it doable. So, it can be something that you get done first thing in the morning, and, you can always go farther if you want to, but if you get done just the one little section a day, that you're going to be done them in time.
Yeah.
So Natalie says 4 Advent socks, 1 Advent stocking, and the Merry and Bright. And yes, she does have a bunch of beautiful winter scenes and winter patterns as well. So
there is a question here before we leave questions. Julie says, when she does helical knitting, she can see a bump in the knitting spiraling up the sweater. Would this block out, or is there a trick to avoid this? The first thing that comes to my mind is I'm wondering if you're just tugging your yarn a little too snug when you transition from that end point. I don't know how many stitches. I generally do about 3 stitches, sometimes 2, but generally 3. And I'm wondering if you're just tugging a little too tight, because you shouldn't see a bump. But I would think that the blocking will definitely help that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you should try and keep it. The same tension as the previous stitches, right? Because you're kind of dropping your yarn, slipping a couple, and then going to where you had dropped the yarn previously. So just try and keep the tension. So if you're doing circular, if you're knitting circular, make sure they're all on the needle tip, as opposed to some pulled off, because that'll change the tension of them. So
that's a good point too.
Okay, so we should go on to what we're wearing.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay. You go and I'll look for do you have a picture in here?
Yeah, we can state the obvious that we're both wearing green and they're both winter themed. And once again, I had no idea what she was going to wear. She had no idea what I was going to wear. I haven't worn this one very much, so this one was just completely random. So this is the Fern and Feather by Jennifer Steingass. And I knit this using Remix, which is, I'm trying to think of what the content is. It's a whole bunch of things. I know that. There's cotton in it. There's recycled fibers. I don't think that there's actually any wool, is there?
No, I don't think there's any wool.
Linen. That's right. There's some linen. I don't know. There's some other things in there, but the way it ends up feeling is kind of like that cozy cotton sweatshirt feel. And as I said, it is a worsted weight. There's 2 versions of Remix. This is the regular Remix, and then there's Remix Light. And if I'm being completely honest, I never even blocked this sweater. This is just sort of the nature of this yarn is that it just sort of lays really well.
Mhm.
And I've done quite a few Jennifer Stein Gass sweaters. I like every single one of them. It's just a circular yoke. Her color work, generally speaking, is pretty short runs of color work. So you don't really have, I can show you my floats. I'll flip it inside out. So you've just got sort of shorter floats. And she has a lot of these kind of rolled necks, which, as I said, it feels just a lot like a cozy, comfy sweatshirt. And for this sweater, I used 4.5 skeins of the main color, and it's long enough by a Kelly measurement to wear with jeans. It's kind of at my hip bones. And then in the coordinating color, I only used 1/2 skein. And the remix is really a cost-effective yarn too. It's not very pricey at all. And the one thing I will say about the Remix Light is I did find
Remix. It's not Remix Light.
Oh, sorry. No, not the Remix Light. The one thing I found about working with this is I couldn't do a long period of time working on the same sweater. I found it's not in any way rough. I mean, it's super soft. This is right on my skin. It's like a super soft wear, but it's harder on my hands, I found, because it's a heavy yarn. Like, and this sweater has some weight to it. But it's the nice thing about it after it's done is you have this gorgeous sweatshirt type garment, and it's not something that you feel overly heated up in. It's not like wearing, I mean, if I were wearing a worsted weight wool sweater, I know I'd be a lot warmer in it than I am in this. So this is just really nice and cozy and fun to wear. So
yeah, and the Barocco Remix does come in the Remix Light.
It does.
And the Remix Light is it is easier to work with, simply in the fact that your garment's not that heavy, but it does have the feeling of working with a plant-based yarn as opposed to like an animal fiber, but you don't have the weight of it like you do with it, because I've used the Barocco Remix itself, and it is, by the time you're done it does get hard on your hands. But the Remix Light, if you use that, I don't find it has quite the same feel as that, even though the composition of the yarn is exactly the same.
Yeah, but in the lighter weight, it goes through your fingers easier. And I think it isn't the fiber that's hard on my hands. No, it's the size of the fiber going through my hands. It's just that I've lost the word, but it tires my hands. I think that's what it is. So, and thank you, Barb. She has posted for us the composition, and the yarn company is Barocco. Somebody was asking about that too. So it is Barocco Remix. Thanks, Barb.
Okay, and my sweater is the Festive Yoke Cardigan by Skein Deer Knits. And this is done in Rauma Phenol Garn. So the green is, I think it was called Olive. They have numbers, but if you go to their website, you can get names. And then it's just the light gray is what's in the yoke and around the bottom. And this pattern was really cool because you got a whole bunch of charts. So you could basically design where you wanted things yourself. You could either do it all over, or you could just have it like I chose. I just chose to do it around the yoke and then a little bit around the bottom of the sweater, partly because I only had one skein of the light gray, so I wouldn't have had enough to do all over. And I kind of like the way it turned out.
I like the way you did
sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It is steeked, so you knit it in the round and then you cut. I needle felted the steek, and then I sewed just a ribbon with some gold snowflakes on it down the front. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really like the Rauma Phenol Garn. I need to make more garments in this, and I do even have some yarn, but it's just time. I need time. But anyway, she does also have a pullover version of this sweater if you didn't want to do a cardigan. But I think the cardigan's nice because you can, leave it open, close it up. And when you've got a cardigan and you close it up, it's almost like a pullover anyway. So I really like the versatility of a cardigan. If I get too hot, I can take it off. And it's the middle of November, so I thought it's time to start wearing this because even though it's just snowflakes, the trees do look like Christmas trees. So I probably don't wear this a whole lot once we get into January. So it's really basically sort of for this time of year. But yeah, I really do like it. And I really do like the fact there was a bunch more different little motifs that you could have put on other than the ones that I've got on there. So you could just kind of go in and pick and choose which ones you like to fit around the depth of the yoke that you want. So, but yeah, and it's fun. I like steeking. Steeking's fun. And it is so much nicer to knit it in the round than to have to like do the back and forth with the color work. So
Marianne says that she's working with the Remix Light right now, and she really likes it. I know I've got some. I have 2 sweater quantities I need to knit.
Yeah. Yep. So, okay.
All right.
So
moving on.
Yes. Do you have any finished objects?
I do. I have 1. How many do you have?
I have 2.
Okay. You can go first.
Okay. So
one day I'm going to win the FO race. Just once. Just once.
My first one is my Starry Night dress.
Yay.
So yes, finally. It was a lot of knitting, but it is done. So here's the full dress. Sleeves are done. Both of them. And I love it. I'm super happy with it.
Do you have your picture in here? I'll go look.
Yeah.
I'll look. Okay.
There's the picture and the...
It's very cute. I like it a lot.
So it's Starry Night by Beth McDonald Stone. It was a test knit. I was supposed to be done a couple of weeks ago, but I wasn't done. But this is a lot of knitting in the skirt part. So that you can see it falls to like just a little bit above my knee. But there is, even when you get to that point, there's a turned up hem. So when you turn it up, that's still another, like you're at the right length, but you still got to do another 1.5 inches of knitting. And Beth had a really cool, a cool little technique where when you got to the point that you were 1.5 inches away from the length that you wanted, you put in a lifeline in a different color that you can see. And then you do your 3 inches. So that'll give you your 1.5 inches that you still got to finish, plus your 1.5 inches to turn up. You turn up the hem. You just have to catch like right where that colored thread is. So you know exactly where you're putting that hem up to help you get the hem even. And this is done in Holst Garn, super soft. Venetian is the colorway. And I use 5.12 of the cakes. So just a little over 250 grams. Like I've got more than half my cone still left. I had a cone of yarn. I still have more than half of it left. But those cones go on like forever. It's knit single. So it was a lot of knitting. So it's just held single. I think it was on a 3.25 millimeter needle. And then the sleeves are really cool. The sleeves are fitted. So you can see they're quite fitted and tapered. And then when you go down to the bottom, when you get to 2 inches before the end, you just switch to a smaller needle size to bring that in a little bit. And they fit my arms like a glove. They just fit perfectly. And then the hem down here at the bottom, you can see it's just folded over and stitched up, but it was so easy to know where to stitch it when you put that lifeline in. So the only seams are seaming the neckband down, because the neckband was done the same way. So tacking it down and then tacking that hem up. Everything else, it's knit in the round, A-line shape. So you just keep increasing out to the width that you want. The original pullover was a little bit of an A-line shape. But it came probably just to about your hip bone. But I had lots of yarn, so I thought, you know what? I might as well just do a dress. Why not? Because it's just,
why not?
I had the yarn, right? I would do it again, but it is a lot of knitting, and obviously, like stockinette, I like it for certain things. But if I'm just sitting and I want to really do some knitting, stockinette wouldn't be what I would pick.
No.
But anyway, I'm happy with it. I would do it. I would do a dress again, but not today. And maybe not in a fingering weight, a light fingering weight. Maybe I'd pick a little bit heavier weight of yarn. So, and then my yoke up at the top, I don't know if you can see the sparkles. It's really in like sunlight. It's really cool. The sparkles are Lang paillettes in the gold, and then they are held with the Titicaca, which is 100% alpaca in their cream colorway. So Yeah.
Someone is asking if Holst does a Black Friday sale. They do. They put
Okay.
out
I
their
didn't check if
announcement
there
today.
was.
Yes, they put out an announcement today. It
Okay.
starts this week. So uh,
So all of this
I'm
yarn,
going to abstain.
I'm going to
I
abstain.
think
I could
I
make
have
3.
to.
I could make 4 more dresses with the yarn I've already got. More
I have
than that.
so many cones of it. Yes, but
But this yarn, the cone and the Lang paillettes and the Titicaca, I got at Little Red Mitten. And it was nice actually to buy the red, seeing it at the store,
mhm,
because like I'm picky about reds because I don't think
reds.
red's
Yes.
an amazing color for me, but I do like it. So it's nice to see it in person to know what it's going to be like.
Mhm.
So,
I think
but having
this
said
is
that, I
the
have
red here
ordered a lot
behind
of
me.
yarn
Yes.
from Holst, and yeah, I mean, I really like the Holst yarn, and it's not super soft, but it really does bloom once you block it.
It
Like
does.
this feels so much different. Now there was a lot of red dye came out of this. So when I soaked it, what I did was I kind of held this part out, and I probably did this part 3 or 4 times with Dawn dish soap, and just kind of like squeezed, like not wring it, but just kind of
Okay.
squeezed
Okay.
until the dye got quite a bit clearer. And then I put a color catcher in and then put the whole thing in. And then I do a final thing where I put it in the Eucalyptus in the jasmine scent. So, and I know when I wash it again, there will be more red dye come out of it. But for some reason with the Holst yarns, I found that the darker colors do bleed, but I have not, touch wood, to this point, I have not had a problem with it bleeding into any other colors that I have. So,
No,
but I think
me
I have
either.
heard that other people have said that they do. So maybe I'm just lucky and we have water that helps to avoid that. I don't know, but
Maybe.
so
Okay. Well,
okay.
okay, so you may have finished a dress, but hey, I finished socks.
Hey.
So I finished my they don't have a name, they don't have a pattern. It's just something I did myself. But the yarn is glorious. This
It is.
is
It is
from
nice.
Full Moon Fibers, and uh so this is their ball band. And this was a set called Treed Up Land. And it came with the 100-gram main color. And then it has 2 minis. And I used the light purple, I guess. And I still have the mini of the green. I have enough here to do another pair of socks. So I was going to make a pair for Miles because I think it's really cute, but there's so much yarn left. I feel like I should make another full-size pair. And I absolutely love this this colorway. Like
It's
it's
nice.
so beautiful. So this is on their zebra striped marl base. The yarn itself is so soft. So all that I did was just cast on in the alternating color, which you really can't see it on the cuff. It's not very much of a
Yeah,
contrast.
you can see it. You can
I
see it a
like
little bit.
I like this bit of a contrast here in the toe, but you can't see it as much up here, but that's okay. I'm still happy with it. And then I used a shadow wrap heel, so it ends up looking the same on both sides of the sock. And then what I did was just put in a purl 2 and then a 6-stitch cable, and then 2 more pearls. And then I did the cables going in opposite directions because that's how I like it, so that they actually have a left and a right. And the cable Ross goes on the outside of the foot.
Yes, I know. I know. I tell them all the time. Got your socks on the wrong feet.
I know. I don't know how anybody could stand that cable going up that inside part of their foot. But anyway, these ones go to the outside.
Yeah.
And can I recommend a pattern, Katie? No. But if you go to my Ravelry, I don't always make good notes, but on these ones, I made very good notes. So I actually like put out the stitch count, exactly how I did the pattern, the shadow wrap heel, the toe that I used, I'll take it off. I used a rounded toe because that's the toe I like. So it comes up like this. So you get a nice
Yeah, Kim
round
said try socks on a
finish.
plane, and that's a good,
It's pretty much the
that's
same.
basically what the cable is like on socks on a plane.
Although I'm going to be honest and say that I made these socks in a cable before I even knew about the sock pattern called socks on a plane. So I just call this Kelly's recipe because I have never made the socks on a plane pattern, but it's just something I like to do, having a cable go down the side. So, okay. And okay, no, I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
That's it. That's it.
Okay. Okay, so I finished another sweater.
Oh, so not fair. So not fair.
I have this little heart to sew on. I haven't done it yet, but this is was so much fun to make. I know I should be doing all these other things, but I couldn't resist. so this is, I don't have this sweater name here. Okay, it's called the Mini Crop Puff, and it's by Geraldine Yang, and it's a free pattern. So now the pattern is not striped. I just did it striped. So this is done in the Knitting Lofts Lush in the smoky lavender or gray lavender, I think, gray lavender and eggplant. So these were just little bits that I had left over from my Badger and Bloom sweater. And then I've got just this cute little, where's it gonna?
Yeah,
focus?
just cover
No.
your face. There we go.
So it just says handmade. So I'm going to put that little, just that little handmade heart on there. And then it's got, Ross makes me these little hangers so you can hang them up like just a little tree decoration, or it'd be cute to have, I don't know. I have a tree that I just hang like little sweaters on. And it was so much fun. Like I would like a real sweater like this.
You do have a real sweater like that.
You
just finished it. Well, it's okay.
It's
color work in those colors.
Anyways, but these would be a really cute gift and fast, right? And you can use, like, this yarn is a little bit thicker, but you can use all of your bits and pieces of leftover sock yarn. You can stripe it up if you want. You can just do a scrappy one. I mean, okay, they're a little bit fiddly, but not bad. So this one's kind of nice. And I even did like a tubular cast off, cable cast on the neck. And it was fun. So anyway, so that was my second finished object. So I got to start and get out more of the little Christmassy things and my baubles and get them done. Okay.
Fine. Katie, are you done talking about that?
Yes.
I just want to go back to the socks. Katie says that she struggles with the heels. Katie, I don't do a shadow wrap heel very often. I like to do it because it was in an all-in-one color sock. I do a lot of contrast heels, so I usually put in an afterthought heel. But the refresher that I used, and it's a very good one, Earth Tones Girl, Denise, has a tutorial for doing the shadow wrap heel, and that's whose video I queued up when I got down to that. So if you want to follow along with her and you're struggling with the heel, very, very good explanation on how to do that. So
okay, so Yarn is a Sport said that she said this is what she makes for not knit-worthy people who request the sweater. The little mini ones. That's a great idea. So
yeah. And
it was fun.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Her title is Taxi Stickan, and she's joining us from Sweden. She didn't realize we were live, so now she says that she can tag along. So welcome. Okay.
Okay, someone asked what color catchers are. So color catchers are something that you can put into your wash water that will soak up some of the excess dye that comes out of a sweater. I don't think that a color catcher would have caught all the dye that came out of this sweater, but if you're worried a little bit, if you put it in, it supposedly will catch a lot of that excess dye so that it goes into the color catcher as opposed to in your in the other colors in your garment. So
can you pull out the hanger?
Yeah.
Nancy wants to see what the hanger is made out of.
It's just, all it is a little piece of dowel with a
cup hook,
C hook in it. Yep.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And you can get these little things in all sorts of colors too, or just, gold or silver or bronze.
So. Or you could make the hangers and spray paint the whole thing.
Yep. But
you're so inclined.
You can't see it once you put it on. You just really need the little hanger thing. And look, my stripes don't even look too bad joining up at the back.
You did a jogless join, I hope.
I did not. I didn't.
You didn't?
Come on, okay. I did not. No, I didn't. So, and I did carry my yarn. I did carry the yarn down. I didn't cut little pieces of yarn for every. But
Diana, where you get the color catcher, some yarn stores carry them. I did order some on Amazon, grocery stores, wherever you buy your laundry detergent.
I've had a hard time finding them in the grocery store. I did get mine at Little Red Mitten, and I have seen them on Amazon. But some, or even like a department store in the laundry section, might have them. So
yes, yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Oh, can you tell us where you get the hangers from? She gets them from Ross.
My husband
for her.
Yeah, it's just little dowel that he cuts into. Well, in this case, it's about 2
inches,
and then you just screw a little hook into it. So,
and Nettie says that she's made them from jewelry wire as well. You could do that.
Yes,
lots of different ways you could make these little hangers, but they are pretty cute to hang the sweaters on, for sure.
Okay, so my next is not actually finished, but I'm not showing it next week, so it's finished. So this sock is done, and then this one I just didn't have time to finish the heel. It'll be finished before I go to bed tonight. So these are the Moonlight socks by Hoki. This is in Timber Yarns Twin Sock Marl. This is the Ducky Yellow colorway. And I put the heel in gray this time because the black just looked too stark against the yellow. So I really like the look of the gray heel in that. So
it's an AFO
gray that I had left over. It's an AFO. It's an almost FO.
Almost so.
Yes,
almost
it will be an FO. Yeah. So that, and I had someone that emailed me, and I have to get back to them, that said they would crank the socks for me so that I could just had to do the heels and toes. Well, I really appreciate it, but I've actually pretty much unbelievably kind of gotten things under control, because this is pair number 9. Pair number 10 will be done by next week because I'm traveling again. So I've got lots of knit time in the car. And then I only have to finish one more after that. I want to get mine done too, but I only have to get one more pair done after that. So I'm pretty good. I'm now that I've got the dress done, I feel like I can breathe a little bit. So, but I do appreciate the offer, and who knows, maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Yes.
So
next year, I thought you told me, you said next year your family's not getting socks.
But if someone cranks all the tubes for me. But you know what? I was knitting on, was I knitting on that one? And my son's like, oh, it's really cool how you change all the colors. And then when he found out it was all in one yarn, he goes, well, I'm not that impressed anymore then. So anyway.
Lindsay, you're right. There are not enough hours in the day. Candles, hangers, shadow heels.
I know. Believe me, I know. So
Michelle says Amazon sells the mini hangers for dolls, and they fit really well on the little sweaters too. That's a good idea too. Somebody else mentioned a paper clip. That would be really nice, a paper clip, because they come in a lot of different colors too. So, okay. I'll have to put my husband to work making little hangers.
So,
well, no, because then I'd have to make the little sweaters, and we all know I'm not going to make the little sweaters.
So before we go into our works in progress, maybe we should do the giveaway.
Yes, let's do a giveaway.
Okay, so we do have a giveaway thanks to Leanne Lang, and Leanne works at Wool and Silk in Shelburne. And last year she was kind enough to gift us she had all the lined mitten patterns. Well, she's come out with a new pattern for a t-shirt. It's called the Terrence Bay Tee. So I'll show you some pictures of it here. Okay, so it's a really pretty yoke design, and then it's got a split hem when you get down into the to the bottom rib. It splits, and I did have 2 pictures in here, but I see one of them is no longer here. And I know they were both there, but anyways, this shows what your yoke's like, although that is the back of it. It's called the Terrence Bay Tee. Let me just.
I really like that. I like that split hem. I like the side detail. I like everything about it.
Yes, and this was done.
And that looks in Remix. Light.
It's in Remix Light.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is in Remix Light. So she's got it in just short sleeved here, but you could do it in long sleeve if you wanted a sweater to wear into fall and winter. You could also do it in a woolly wool. It doesn't have to be done like, again, this is the Remix Light. It doesn't have to be done in the Remix Light. You could do it in like a more wintry type of wool.
Mm-hmm.
So she has offered us a pattern to give away on the podcast today. And then we also have another one to give away for anybody viewing later in the week. So if you would like to win this pattern, Kelly, you're going to put up the...
Yeah, we just have to take that picture down.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so if you want to just type in #teatime, and we'll let that run for a little bit, and we will be giving away one of those patterns tonight. So, and we want to thank Leanne for giving us that pattern. Yeah, I know I've got, you know what else I thought it would be really nice in is the merino linen blend.
Yes, or even the Pearl Soho linen quill.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like it in the Remix Light though. I would wear that like in the winter. I would throw that on over top of a long sleeve shirt because I like that split hem coming down. So I feel like it wouldn't look so much like, oh, I'm trying to stretch a summer tee into the winter. I feel like it might look a little wintry too. So it's a really pretty pattern.
And I mean, it can always look like that too, depending on what color you knit it into. Like if you knit it in like a darker wintry color, then you could easily, even over a denim shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in the summertime, I would love the way that would look with a pair of like crop denim jeans.
Yeah.
Really nice. Yep. Might have to make that pattern.
Yep.
I have to make that pattern.
I know there's so many things on my list. just why can't I put time on my list?
Why? Why can't we put time on our list? All I want for Christmas is time. More of it.
Yep. Yep.
And why is it as, you know, remember when we were kids and it's like summer break was forever. And now it's like 8 weeks goes by in a flash, an absolute flash.
Yeah. So. Okay. So we'll let that run for a little bit longer. Let's see here.
I'll talk about you only need to enter one time too.
You need to put your name in once that the program disregards
duplicate.
Anybody that's typed in the hashtag twice, it will only take once. So it's a good program to use. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about Streamyard, Kelly, while that's running.
Yeah, I can talk about Streamyard. I could talk about Streamyard all day long. Streamyard is the platform that we use for our podcast. So it has these wonderful background images. It enables us to bring this little giveaway tool, which is a Streamyard tool, in as well. And you can use it not just for podcasting. You may say, I'm a podcaster, I'm not a podcaster. What do I need this for? We use this just for conversations between ourselves or with a group of people. It works. It's kind of a similar concept to Zoom, although I like a lot of the features of Streamyard more than Zoom, if I can say that. And it has, it's a free program that you can use with lots of options. But then if you want to ante up and use it in a different way, you can use it for webinars. You could even host paid webinars if you wanted to. And so there is a subscription base for it as well, if you want to do more things with it. There's all sorts of tools and filters that they provide as well. And it's just top notch. We really like the program, and they have partnered up with us this year and offered us a sponsorship. Again, this is our second year being sponsored by Streamyard, and I just don't have enough great things to say about it for
and it makes it easy for us to set up the lives, and the fact that we can put in banners, we can put in pictures, we can put in little video things. Whereas I think if you just use like Instagram Live, or I don't know if you can do that in Zoom or not, but this just makes it easy. It's very user friendly. So
I feel that, I've seen lots of live streams and not so much knitting related for sure, but where it's just basically, it is what it is. But I think that this gives us an opportunity to really share some content with our people. And I think it really adds, it's definite added value to our live stream. And we have, if you go to the show notes down below, we have a referral link there if you're so inclined, and you can use that link for a discount, and that would be great. And while we're talking about the podcast, a thumbs up would be lovely if you also feel so inclined. Okay,
time to draw.
Let me go hit the spinny wheel. We have 161 entries. good luck, everybody.
Yeah, good luck. Mary Ruel.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mary. And again, for you to, let's see, you can contact us at Knits and Pieces podcast at gmail.com, and we will pass your information along to Leanne, and she will get the pattern to you. So just give us a quick little note at knitsandpieces@gmail.com, and that pattern will be on the way to you. We can't wait to see how you knit it, what you make, what yarn you use and color. And I know it's definitely going to be on my needles for next spring and summer. So, because I don't think I have time before then. I have too many other things that I have to do for winter. Okay, so for anybody, if you didn't win tonight, you can go in after the video's posted, and you can put in, you can comment about anything. Just leave us a comment. Doesn't have to be, maybe what type of yarn, if you actually had the pattern, what type of yarn you would like to knit it in. Maybe you can tell us that, because I think it would be wonderful. There's lots of possibilities of what you could use to knit that with. So again, I'm still thinking I think my Loving Path, I think she calls it Merlin.
Yes, the Merlin. That would be amazing.
And that pretty like Barbie pink color.
Yes, and I have a sweater quantity in that too.
So
yes. Very
okay,
nice.
So just go in after, leave us a comment, and we will draw for that before next week's podcast. Okay, so now we'll move on to works in progress. Do you have any works in progress, Kelly?
I got lots of works in progress. You know that.
Okay. Do you have any that you actually worked on?
Yes, I worked on a lot of them. What have I got? I've got, I think, 3 things to talk about tonight. How many things
I only have 2, so you go first.
Yay, I get to go first for a change.
You get to go first.
All right. So I'm just going to start talking about it. Maybe you can go look for banners. I cast on last Tuesday, actually, my Riptide Slip Over. And this is a pattern by Jennifer Shields Tolan. And I could not be happier with this project. I love all of the details for all of these various reasons. I love that the fact that it's narrow at the shoulders. I like a vest that sits up onto the shoulders, not a drop shoulder vest. I like the deep arm side because obviously you're going to wear something underneath it. It has this beautiful little bits of a broken rib going down the side. I love the split hem. The texture on the front is easily memorizable. So, and I especially love these very clever shaping details that she has included in this. I just think this is such a really professionally presented pattern. I think I will be very proud to wear it. And I think that this is a woman designer who really knows her stuff about knitting. Just the tiny little, I'm not going to give away the secrets, but the tiny little details that she goes into in the pattern really would give anybody confidence to make this pattern. So I'll show you the one that I've been working on. And I know it's orange. Look at this.
I love that color.
Love it. I love it. So this is the front. This is the back. Again, the clever thing about this pattern is when you're done, you're almost done. All you have to do is go back and just pick up the neckline because you have these beautiful finishes going down the sleeve. Look at that. That really looks good. And I absolutely love this pattern. I love this color. I had 3 skeins of this yarn. This is my first 2. So I'm still going strong. I think I will probably have to bust into the 3rd one. And the yarn that I'm using is this absolutely beautiful Moondrake yarn. And I spoke incorrectly last week. I thought that it was Cormo. It's not the Cormo base. It is indeed the Corriedale DK. When we went to Rhinebeck weekend, we stopped at Pick Up Every Stitch, and Rochelle was there with a pop-up, and this was a sample color in her store, or in the store, and they were all out of this. can't imagine why, because it's so beautiful. So I ordered it, and Noelle bought a color in the Cormo that was in stock in the store. And so I thought that I had gotten Cormo, but when it arrived, it's actually the Corriedale. So I misspoke last Tuesday, because I think it only arrived last Tuesday and I cast it on that day, or maybe it came in on Monday, but I cast it on right away. But this is so scrumptiously squishy. I cannot speak enough about how much I love this yarn. I get the hype. I get the hype. Yeah. I see why people really talk about it. It's 268 yards in their DK 100 gram skein, and it is 100% non-superwash Corriedale. Super plump. Oh, it's got purple lint, but super, super plump and beautifully saturated. And now I know a little bit more about yarn saturation and dyeing. So I would say that this is a highly saturated fiber. Yeah. But I can't wait to get this finished. I'm just really enjoying the knit. It was such a lovely construction, the way you start. You know, I think I can say this, but you start with the back. So I did the back, and then you attached up here, and like there's a little bit of short row shaping in here, and then you sort of knit the front piece, and then you knit another front piece and joined it. And so clever, the construction. It's just a joy to knit. And I am alternating skeins. I said I would talk about this. So where am I alternating? Right here. So what I'm doing is actually carrying it down the side of this. Sorry for the needle clicking, but I'm actually carrying it right here. So every time I reach that point in the pattern, I just twist and I alternate the skeins. I did not alternate the skeins for the top half of the sweater. I did this as one. And then once I joined at the armhole, that's where I started alternating. But I'm pretty happy with the color. So
okay, so Nettie said that there is actually a discount code for the pattern right at the moment.
Yes, there is.
So she said it works if you type it in right. So it's Gift Along 2023. So if anybody's interested in getting it, it's only good until the end of today, the end of and I don't know if she's in the States or so you probably need to get it now if you want it.
Yes.
So thanks, Nettie, for that information.
Yes, you're right, Haley. It does. It looks very tailored. I'm excited to wear this. I've got a couple of options for shirts, and if I really want to go basic, I have just a basic white shirt, but I have this really nice pair of charcoal jeans that I think is going to look great with it. So I'm excited.
Frankie
for this.
Just bought it, or Colette just bought it.
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
Oh,
now she said it's good. 25% off, good to the 27th. Okay.
Perfect. To the 27th. Okay. So. Very good. She has an entire series. There's a Riptide sweater. There's a Riptide. Yeah. She just released a cowl that came out, and so it's like a series. It's a really fun
She has
stitch.
a lot of other gorgeous patterns too. Like
she does. I have mohair at my nose.
Haven or something. Anyway, she has a lot of nice patterns. But
I also think that would be something. I'm sorry. I think I have mohair up my nose. I think that this would be really fun. Again, something that you could put into a sock, just like that basic down the side instead of a cable, because this is really fun to do. Really fun. Okay. What are you working on?
Anne said she went to buy it only to discover that she'd already bought it last week when you talked about it. Okay, so I am still working on socks. Which did I put them here? Oh no. Oh, just a minute. I got to go get them. Talk about what you're working on.
Okay. What else am I working on? All right. I'll show you something else in my little thread and maple bag that Noelle gave me for Christmas. I started these last week. I did not get too much done on these, so this will be quick. But I did get a little bit more done on the leg. And these are the socks that I'm making using the Timber Yarn all over marled yarn in the blue, and then I have red and natural for my contrast minis. And what I'm actually doing is making a sock for my son-in-law who works for Molson Canada, and I am using the Leo and Roxy anniversary sock pattern. like this, and I'm sort of slightly adjusting it, doing different bands. But so the heel will be red on these ones, and then the toe will be the cream with another little red stripe. This is so lush though, and I'm using, so it is a 3x1 rib, which it's kind of hard to see once you go to that all over marl, but it's I've got a pair of the work socks myself, and I love that pattern. So that's a Christmas gift. That's my last Christmas knit. Well, maybe not my last Christmas knitting. Maybe.
I'll keep adding stuff right up till Christmas, so I'll never be my last.
Well, after the 16th of December, I'm away. So if it hasn't been knit by then and it's not small enough to fit in a suitcase, it's not going to get done.
Okay. So I started my next pair of Christmas socks. So I am doing the heel toe do-si-do socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. I have knit them before. I do like the pattern. It's pretty memorizable. It's easy to remember. I thought I put a picture of them in here. Okay, so that's her pattern picture. I'm not going to do the heel flap and gusset. I'm going to do I'm going to do a cut in heel just so I don't break up the yarn. But there's mine. So this is the Timber Yarns again. It is the twin sock marl because everybody's getting a different color. So this is the gray and white marl with the black licorice. And I honestly, every time I start a new pair with a different color, I'm like, oh, I love that one too. And they just, you don't really see it until you start knitting it. And I'm really liking how this pattern's working in it.
Yes.
Like it just gives it really nice defined stripes. And so I've already passed where the heel goes in for this one. So with the traveling that I'm doing this week, I know that I'll have these done by next week. So yeah, so they're actually going faster now than they were before. And I think that's because I'm onto the girl size socks instead of the guy size socks.
Yes,
So
yes. I know. Well, because
64 stitches is a lot easier than
yes.
72 stitches. So
these ones are a 72 since they're for a man, and I don't knit a lot of 72 stitch socks, and it's only a few extra stitches, but honestly, it does take you longer to get around that sock.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. So anyway, yeah, so I'm really enjoying that one too. So that worked out pretty fast. Like the pattern looks complex, but it's really only a 2-row pattern repeat, and one of the rows is knitting.
I've knit those socks too in Heather's yarn from Timber Yarn, and
yes.
yeah, I love those socks.
It's it's an easy pattern, and I think it really makes the socks, especially a self-striping sock, it really makes the I don't know, makes the self-striping just pop. So okay.
Oh, Audrey said that she ordered the marled kit. She can't wait. Oh, you won't be disappointed, Audrey. It's so nice. So nice.
So,
okay. Do you have something else? Because I got ahead of you.
Yes.
I've got one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
You have mohair up your nose now?
Yeah, I do. Okay. You ahead. I have one more, but you go.
All right. So I cast this on today because, I'm a sucker and I don't know why, but I really like it. So it is the, I'll show you first. It is I know I put it in here. Did I not?
What is it?
The Lola. Yes. No.
I don't see a picture.
Oh, okay. Well, then you talk. I'll grab it because I do have it on my desktop because you really can't see it from what I have knit.
Okay. Okay, so I am knitting. Nope, not that.
We have too many things on the go.
We do. I am knitting this, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Seeps Beret by Isolde Teague. So I don't know if that's like a Scottish name. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Maybe someone can let me know before next week, but this is what it looks like. So it is a beret, and I have wanted a beret for a long time. And I just thought, okay, I'm just going to knit one. I'm organizing my yarn and putting away stuff. And I just came across some yarn that I had, and I thought, oh, I think I'm going to try it with that. So this is what I've got done so far.
Oh, that's so pretty.
So these are the 2 yarns that I'm using. together. So this is kind of and I'm sorry, I don't know the names. It's all going to be in the show notes. I can't remember them. These are 2 yarns that I got in Turkey. So this one is 75% acrylic, but then it's 25% alpaca. So it was 50 grams and it was 190 meters, but they class it as a worsted. And then this is a hand dyed fingering weight, 100% merino. So this is like, there's lots of, to cover my face, there's lots of different colors in this, but you only get little tiny pops of color when you hold the 2 together. And the construction is really nice. It's got a fold over brim here, but it's just those few little rows that you just do with the white yarn.
Mm-hmm,
and then you bring your color in, and then the whole pattern is twisted rib. So, and then it's broken up. So actually, even the inside looks cool too, because you get that broken stitch. So I don't actually have that much more to go.
No,
because it's kind of like that, and then it's going to have
so now you're
tiny
closing
stock
in
thingy up at the top. Yeah, so I'm closing in now, so I really don't have a whole lot left to go. I'm basically just closing in that circle.
Yeah, you'll be done.
So, but anyway, I really like it. It's quite a stiff fabric with the 2 together, which is what I want for a hat, and which is what I want
that for the beret
shape. That's right. And then I'm going to block it on a dinner plate.
On a dinner plate. I was going to say you can block it on a dinner plate. I made one for Kendall
on a dinner plate when it's done. And yeah, I really like it. So it was a fun knit. Again, I don't have to like enter those things into my stash now because I'm using them. So.
Victoria says that it is pronounced ceps, which is a French word for a type of mushroom. Hence the little stem on the top.
And I've got it in this absolutely gorgeous bag that when I was at the yarn festival at Timecodes, Vivian gave it to me, and it is this up here is she spun the yarn, then she wove the fabric, and then she made the bag, and it just absolutely looks perfect.
It does.
Like you couldn't match colors any better, and it just makes me happy I will be taking that with me this weekend or this week to finish it up. So who knows, maybe I'll get to wear it while I'm in Toronto. So
I'm chuckling.
That is my last active
comment.
whip. So
okay. I'm just laughing at Heather's comment. She said that she thought 72 stitch socks were big enough until her grandson grew gargantuan feet and now needs an 80 stitch sock. Oh my goodness. He must be very sock worthy if you're knitting 80 stitches.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have gone in and grabbed my photo. So I am started on the Lola pullover. And this is a pattern by Claudia from Unit. And it's such a pretty pattern. And what I'm actually planning to do with this pattern is make it a crop. And I purchased a beautiful fabric to make a dress to go underneath of this. And I will show you the colors I'm using, because these are not really like colors that I would normally be drawn to, but I really like the way they look together. So I'm using Holst Cinnamon Super Soft paired with Drops Mohair. And I think this color, it's a strange color name. It's called Roast or Rost.
Okay.
So it's kind of like I don't know, like a rosy, I don't know. But there are flecks. If you look in here, there are flecks of almost this exact color. And then when you pair them together, you knit them together, this is what you do. You get this. Oops. You get a mess. That's what you get. Look at this pretty color. There is so much little hints of this rose, and this mohair actually even has a wee bit of a shine to it. Like when you,
that's pretty.
So you can't really see anything with the lace yet. So, and I'm doing short rows. That's what it started out with. It's the short rows. So I've worked my way. I only have this much more to incorporate into the neckband, this much more. And I've done short rows in lace, friends. But again, pattern's really well written. Just do what she says. This is not as hard as it sounds. And she gave you the option of casting on the way you want it. So it is a 2x2 rib in the neck, which I really like because that's not always that common. That's kind of uncommon for a sweater, but it is a little bit of a wider neckline. So I'll be conscious of that when I make the dress. I'll make sure that the dress is a wider neckline. So I cast on with an alternating cable cast on in a 2x2. And I think it looks pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with that nice little rolled edge. It looks good. So that's what I started working on today. How soon can I get this done? I don't know, but I really like this rosy cinnamon color.
That's pretty. Yeah.
I had no business casting on another sweater. No business.
Okay. So, are you working on anything else?
Not actively.
No, that's me, not actively. I hope that now that the dress is done, I hope to pick up a few more projects. But anyway, okay. Did you buy anything?
Well, I did. So I went to the Little Red Mitten on Friday night, and they had a trunk show with full moon fibers. So it was so much fun to see Allison and Jessica, and they brought a bunch of Christmas colors with them, some new dyes. I don't think they had any new bases, but you know, their sense of colors. And I was saying on the drive home, like I've always really liked their colors, but I have to say, I feel as if they are really growing into themselves. If that's, and this is said in a very complimentary way. It's as if, and I don't want to say maturing because that doesn't seem like the right word, but they are becoming more confident with their color sense, and they're now sort of curating was the word that I think Natalie used. They're kind of curating a collection of color that sort of works well together. And it's also beautiful. So let me just show you some things that I got. And some things are for me, and other things are for giveaways. And some things were very graciously donated by the girls too. So I'll show you what I got first. How about that? So this skein I particularly love. It's called Time Spent Together. And that's what I feel, you know, we're doing here each week. But just check out the beautiful colors in here. And this is one of their holiday colors, but it's got all the good little bits in there, all the good bits. So I did get this one for myself, but for the prize pool, I got this sock collection, which is Time Spent Together and Midnight Plum. Really,
that's gorgeous.
Really gorgeous. So I got that. Then what they don't, oh no, okay. I also got for me this lovely combo, which is one of their one of a kind purple and green. Look at those beautiful colors together. I love that. It's right in my wheelhouse. And then they also donated very generously this gorgeous skein. This is called Poinsettia on their solar sock base. Look at the glorious colors. That's every beautiful poinsettia you've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
It's just stunning. So that will go into the prize bin. And then this fun color, Vanilla Dip. Look at that.
Pretty.
Those colors. And it comes with 2 minis. So we've got, okay, well, let me finish first. I've got more things. These are not from Full Moon Fibers, but I will be test knitting a sweater for Beth McDonald Stone. And this is the color I've chosen. I think this yarn will work. So it may not end up being the sweater. Maybe it won't work, but I'm hopeful that it will. And this is the Estelle yarns. It's an Eco Tweed DK. And I love this shade of green. After I showed it to Noelle, she said she has the exact same yarn in the same color. Go figure. Go figure. Things I like about this yarn is how soft this is. There's lots of squish factor. The color is called Vine, and I really, really like that the neps are really well integrated into the fiber. I'm not a fan when the neps are kind of hanging out of the wool. It makes me feel like I need to pick them out. So I really like this, and this is 50% organic wool, and then there's organic alpaca and the viscose, which would be the neps. But this is super plump and squishy. Really economical, and I think it will be a great sweater to wear against skin. Yeah. And then I also got And this was sort of, I was already practically out the door, and then I saw this. So this was a swatch that I had knit up, goes this way, for Beth's sweater, and then decided against using these yarns. But I'll just show you some of the colors. And so this color up here, I still really like it. It's a Holst Super Soft and a Titicaca held together. Really like it, but I thought it needed a little zhuzhing up. And hey, look what I found. Some Lang paillette sparkles. Look at that. How perfect is that? So I'm just going to add that. I will find a sweater that just has something with some kind of a standout yoke, and I will just add a little sparkle into the yoke because I really like just that little bit of bling. You're blingier than me. I just like a little hint of bling. So that's what I got. I might have ordered some other things too, but they're not here yet, so they don't count yet. I also might have ordered clogs because clogs went on sale again. And I finally got the color that I said I was waiting on. I got the beautiful aubergine, that kind of purpley burgundy color that I've been waiting on. So there we go. And Sarah's in here, and she said that she started her Full Moon Fibers Granny Square blanket sweater with bling and mohair, and she says it's going to be epic. And I was with her when she put all of that together, and just to see how she was like going from room to room organizing a sweater was a lot of fun to watch. Yeah. Okay. Did you get anything?
Before we go, I forgot about my tea towels. That was another finished object.
Yeah. Well, you said you didn't think you'd still have them. So
I don't have them, but I had a picture.
Okay.
So these were the tea towels that I finished for the shower. We gave them out as some of the door prizes. So I thought I just had them on the loom last week. I finished them I finished the weaving the day after, and then hemmed them the day before the shower. So yeah, so I'm going to get the loom worked up again because I really do like them, and I really do like making them, and I really do like using them. And if you've got a loom, they make amazing gifts. So, and they're made out of 100% cotton. And even with just a rigid head of loom, it's amazing how many patterns you can put together with just a couple of different colors of the cotton. So yeah, so those are done. But again, got to get it warped up again. And then, so Kelly dropped this off to me already. This was another little prize that Full Moon Fiber gave us. So this is a little set of beautiful minis. So we will most likely be having this. You might see this again in the pajama party. So these are their 80/20 sleeper wash, and it's called the Jolly Good Time. And those colors are just stunning. Beautiful. So, and then I did go to a yarn store when we were away. I wasn't going to, but
because every single trip ends at a yarn store, right?
It does. And my son goes, "Well, aren't you going to the yarn store?" I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to the yarn store." And it was Shall We Knit, and it used to be in the Kitchener area. Now it is in Kingsville. Yeah. So what I ended up getting is a sweater quantity. So this is, and I've not ever used this yarn before, but this is the Woolstock worsted. So this color is just their Gray Harbor. So this comes in, you can get it in 150 gram skeins in certain colors, and then 50 gram skeins in other colors. So this is 150 grams. So I got 3 of those. And then this is what I kind of want to do. I think I want to do this sweater. This is
I looked at that one yesterday.
This is Snow Wonder by Heidi Kiermaier. But so what I want to do, I really would like it in this gray. Sorry, I put it back. I would really like it in this gray, but at the very top of the neck and just the cuff of the sleeves, I want to either put this or, well, I really liked this. My daughter-in-law really liked this.
That's really nice too.
Which is really nice too. And I couldn't decide. So I thought, well, I'll just buy both because I'm going to have enough left over to do a hat too. So these I just bought in the 50 gram skeins. And this color is called Golden Meadow. And this color is called Deep Velvet. So, gorgeous. But absolutely The yarn feels amazing. It is 100% Highland wool, I believe. It's non-superwash. So the 50 gram skeins have 123 yards or 112 meters. And then the big one's got 150 grams or how many meters is in here? 338 meters.
It looks super
I think I
squishy.
might have bought 4 of those. I'm not sure. Anyway, but yeah, so I got that. And then in the mail, I got my tags from Brick Bubble that I talked about.
Oh, good. I want to see these.
So these just came today. So there's all my rivets that I bought to put them in. So here's the, cover my face. Can you see it?
No, put the tag right in front of the camera.
It's not focusing again.
No, it's not. Darn,
Anyway.
I thought we had this fixed.
They say NN, and there's a little yarn ball, and they're just little tags that you can fold up like this to put on the neckband or on the hem of a sweater. And I've got all the different colored rivets to do it with. And I bought like 60 of them, so that should do me for a while. And yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Anyway. So that was that. And it was funny because I said, oh, I almost put the yarn back and I said, no, I already have so much yarn. I'm not going to buy any yarn. And my son just said, why? That's never stopped you before. So I said, you're right. And I just bought it.
You're right. You're right.
So
Lisa said that she test knit the Snow Wonder sweater and she wore it today. She said she loves it. So it is. It's a really nice, it's a very nice sweater. So
yes, and someone was asking about PJ photos. So we need the PJ photos. You can send them to our email, which is knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. And what did we say for the date, Kelly? Like when do you need them by?
Well, I'm leaving on the 16th, so it would be really nice if they were all in before then.
Okay.
Or I'm leaving on the 15th, actually, I guess. So yeah, if you can get those into us like within the next couple of weeks, and then I can put that together. I don't want to have to wait until I'm out west and trying to do that in the 2 days I have once we get back from Mexico. So yes, if you could get those in like in that first week by the end of the first week of December, that would be really super appreciated. Okay. And yeah, we're looking forward to the PJ party. We are.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a lot of fun with that.
We have gone really late here.
We have. Sorry. And I was thinking
we
don't have a whole lot to talk about
today. I know. So anyway, I'll just put up a quick list here of our current knit alongs. So we've got our sock make along. All you have to do is make your socks and get them in there. We still have a November monthly draw and then a December monthly draw and then a year end prize. So smash that stash. Again, we've still got the fourth quarter, which is the end of December, and then the overall year end prize for anybody that has entered a project in each of the 4 quarters. And then we've also got our Burl Cowl or Marie Wallen Susan Crawford. All you have to do is a Marie Wallen or a Susan Crawford pattern. We're going to draw prizes for that at the end of the year. So those are what we've currently got going on.
Okay. Cindy is asking, what is a PJ party? Cindy, the PJ party is the hottest ticket in Knitting Town. Mm-hmm. It is what we do. This will be our third. So yep. It's an annual thing. And this is where we get together on the Tuesday between Christmas and New Year. So this year it actually falls on Boxing Day. And we show up in our PJs. We hope you'll be in yours. But what we do ask you to do is to get a photo of yourself knitting in your PJs prior to that and send it to us at our email address. And what I have done in the past years is I've just created a little slideshow. I will add just your first name on the slideshow, first name only, so that all of us in here can get to know one another by face. And it's just a fun little thing. And every year we've had people say, oh, I wanted to do it, but I was too shy. And then I saw the video and I wish I had. So this year, don't be the shy person. Get your photos in. We can't wait to see them. It's just a little bit of fun. And even if you don't want to send in a photo, please come to the PJ party.
Yep.
We have a lot of fun. We've got lots
Yep.
of prizes lined up, and it's just really kind of a little celebration. Just and a thank you to all of you
Yeah.
for joining in with us and traveling along on this little knitting journey that we have. And yeah, it's just a
Yep.
rocking good time.
Yep. So, okay. So I have to go pack.
You have to go pack. You have
I'm
fun.
leaving at 8 o'clock in the morning. So
Yeah, you better go pack. And we're way over. We're an hour, 30 minutes. We're so sorry. Thank you if you've been here since the beginning. Thank you so much for hanging in. And we hope you all have a great week. Oh,
Yep.
last thing. Somebody did ask, it was a question about my clogs, and I only want to mention it because they're on sale this week. If you are so inclined, they have a sale. And the clogs that I wear are the Lotta clogs, Lotta, and they are from Stockholm, Sweden. I love them. They're super comfy. So, okay, that's them. And I'm going to go in and grab the banner so we can say goodnight. But also, happy Thanksgiving. If you're in the US and this is your Thanksgiving weekend coming up, stay safe. I hope if you're traveling, be safe and pack some knitting.
Okay. So take care, everybody. And we will see you next week. Happy knitting.